Hello guys, welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Today is February 1st, first day of February guys. Another crazy day, dips getting bought. It's like yesterday never happened and SPY right back up. Alright guys, a lot to discuss today. For those who are new, I'll just do a quick introduction. So these recaps are from my trades or the trades I guide in from my community, Channel Trades, Channel Trade Group. Any trades that my community is trading or I'm sharing or I'm guiding on the voice or I'm guiding the traders in the community, or any idea that I share on Twitter and how it worked out. We talk about our winners, we talk about our losers, we look at the setup, what was the setup, why did we play it, how did we play, did we make money, did we lose money. So basically we try to learn from our setups, and we try to go through everything, the recap of all the today's trades. I wake up every day 1 hour before the market open. Me and my team, we go through all the news sources. I share everything with the team in the pre-market wake up summary, pre-market movers 1, 2, 3, analysts upgrades and downgrades, and we create a watch list and a game plan for the day. This was the game plan for the day. You can see all the tickers there at Align, LI, Race, QRVO, MRK, RCL, NXT, Qualcomm, Boeing, Starbucks, Plug, and few others. We always play repeatable setups. What we do today, we'll do it tomorrow. We don't take random stocks. We don't take randomly. We have a fixed system that tells us what to long, what to short, when to long, when to short. System and setup, they are two different things, and we clearly follow those day in and day out. If you want to learn my system, go to my free website, or you can join our community and watch my webinars. I go in detail with about everything. So this was our news playlist, and also I create level sheet for everybody. I create a levels so that everybody can play, take those levels. The rules are simple, how to play these pivots. What is a pivot? Pivot is something which when breaks through, the stock generally moves towards that direction, or if it rejects, then stock can reject that for a short as well. Everything is provided here. I explain it here. You can pause it and you can go through it and see how you play these pivots. Today was a great example for SMCI pivot, which I will recap. Traders really nailed it today. One focus, SMCI, since it broke the 546 pivot, it went all the way towards the 580 and meeting our 600 target. And we will talk about it. I will discuss that as well. So with this our game plan, our levels for the day, we are always ready to kickstart the day. I go on the voice first 2 hours of the day and I guide everybody through the market. What is the market personality, what's market doing, what is running, what is strong, what is weak, and of course I share any trade ideas. I guide on the voice, and then I also type it out in on my alerts tab, and so this, what you see on left hand side is our community, and we have those different rooms and trading floor where all the traders share the ideas. We have breaking news coming in. We keep eyes on the option flows, screeners, scanners, everything is available. Anyways guys, that was introduction. Let's start. All right guys, the first one we are just going to discuss is SMCI. So let's go back. What were SMCI pivots? So SMCI pivots that I gave in the morning were 534 was support and 546 was resistance. And what was the setup today on SMCI? SMCI was a day 3 setup, right? The day 1 of the earnings, day 2, and today was a day 3 setup. And you see the 546 pivot breaking out here. And I was busy with other trades, but the traders on the floor, because we do this every day, so they were on top of it, and they told me it's moving, and I saw that pivot moving, and I told, yes, we can definitely trade that long today. And look at this, the Ripster Clouds 512 never told you to get out. And that's what I told. I reminded everybody about that. It's breaking the pivot. It's breaking the pivots. 546 right at 10 a.m. You see my alert here? That's where the pivot is breaking. What do I say? When the pivot breaks over the EMA Clouds, it's a long idea. The pivot, your risk is either the clouds or the low of those candles for that long idea. And the first target is always the recent highs. So I told about 566. 566 is that I gave, that's a big resistance. So we go to the 566 and we reject back, but we hold the previous candles, right? So that's your another add at 512 EMAs. You can risk these below candles, you can add the lottos, or you can whatever, and then it goes on to break out again. And once it starts to break out, then we have this another high of the day. So that's our breakout now, 567. So that's, and then it pushes over 567, and the 570 lottos go from 3 to 14 bucks. And even in end of the day, I told everyone 512 trend still is intact. And on the voice, I was talking about that we will see 600. And you can see here, I mentioned that we will see 600, hold a bit. So I told everybody to hold a bit. Watch here, hold a bit. Let's see, we hold this trend for next leg. Like I said earlier, 600 is not out of question. If not today, it is coming in next few days. I told everybody. And in the end of the day, I told everybody to log the profits and swing some lottos like tomorrow's 600 calls. And guess what? We met our 600 targets after hours. If we open up here tomorrow, the 600 lottos will pay really nicely, right? We closed at, where did we close? We closed at 583.51, and the stock is up another $17. We'll talk about why that happened. We'll talk about the earnings later. We'll discuss the earnings today as well. But the point is, we know the strength. That's why I told everybody to swing the lottos, and it will be very profitable tomorrow. At this point, it's getting a little extended. As a trader, we can trade it every day up, down, but as an investor, we need to wait for a consolidation pullback and to get out of the position. But as an investor, if you're invested in SMCI, it's good, just let's hope for pullback. Today the volume was 171%, the ATR traded was 152%. This was actually the second most ATR it traded after the first big breakout right here on the guidance update. All right, guys, that was SMCI recap. Nice guidance, pre-market plan. That's how you nail it day in, day out. You can see everybody in the community on trading floor, what on SMCI. Lisa did 100% on SMCI. Next one we'll quickly discuss is another pre-market setup that kind of worked out, ALGN. So it was bullish. So what was the news? It was positive earnings. What was the support pivot? 300 and 295. Resistance pivots were 316. Bullish bias as long as clouds hold. Gap fill under the pivots. Read this carefully. Gap fill under the pivots. And what happened here? Right? So it's breaking the pivot. What was our pivot? The pivot was 295 and 300 psychological level. It broke 300 psychological level right away. If you were trading it open, this was a short right away versus that 300, right? So that was gone. And then what happened? The next pivot gave up as well, 295. So 295 goes as well. So it's a confirmed short, confirmed gap fill short under that. Nice morning trade. It went from 300 to 267. Guys, look at that range. And what did I tell everybody? I told everybody at 10 a.m. even when it was bear flagging right here, right? I said watch for the bounces to short more. And that reminder was at 284s, and even after that it faded, another 17 points to 267, and filled the gap, held the yesterday lows and bounced. And there was a nice call by Tape, one of our senior traders in the community, on ALGN. So on the ALGN curl, so that was 512 curl, and you see this basing. It was a C minus setup, but why? Support, consolidation, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So nice C minus trade, 512 curl into the 3450. This is one of our repeatable midday setups that we play in the community and I teach in the webinars. So you could see that, right? and the 280 puts went from $3 to 13 on ALGN. So good example, guys. Another trade that I'm very proud of my traders who executed in the community. All right, guys, let's now look at NYCB. Before I look at NYCB, let's look at the KRE, the regional banks, right? So what's happening in regional banks? Yes, yesterday NYCB was down, another regional bank, for various reasons, and then you know, Powell came in and everybody is thinking the rate cuts would be in May rather than March. And guess what? The rates are, there's impact. All the regional banks are allowed. You know what happened last year with all those high rate interest. You know, the few banks went underwater. And now New York Bank Corp has a loss. You know, it lends money to the real estate people. So they spooked the whole regional bank sector. And the regional bank sector, we track the regional banks, and if you look at that ETF, we can go to the banks. You know, the KRE, it broke 50 EMA today. It was bearish right out of the way. I did talk about that. You know, the regional banks are heavy on the voice. I talked about it very early in the morning, and it still faded all the day from 50 psychological level to 46. I didn't get to trade that, but I was trading NYCB, right? Because you could really literally short any regional bank today. There were many reasons to short it, and we were watching that the regionals were one of the weakest sectors today. If you see right at the bottom, all these sectors, and that was the reason to short them, if you see here. But let's go to our trade, right? How did I benefit, or we in the community traded? So we had NYCB on our watch list. NYCB been faded yesterday, but today I told everybody right at open that it's heavy. You know, under 632 it can fade more, and it goes under 632. Boom, the short. NYCB, right under this level, 632, right here, guys. This level, little bit more. I mean, you could have shorted it right here as well, like at this pivot 650, but this 632 area was a better pivot. And then I gave everybody the target of 560, and look where we bounced. You know, we hit 560, then we hit 551. I left a little bit smaller in there, and you know, then it started to curl, and then I covered everything. And when it started to curl, I said I'm out. CNBC is mentioning it, and look at the bounce. After that, I did tell people that if they want to scalp it on that 512 curl setup, they can scalp it as well. Our news bot told us right at 1219, and that's when it was curling, and then you know, it pushed from that 512 curl all the way to 630. So nice short, easy short with the sector weakness. Repeatable setup, had few convictions, you know, breaking those key pivots under the clouds. The whole sector was weak, so there was a stress-free short and a good scalp. You know, we have these news bots. News is speaking, they're speaking on the voice. We have the news bot coming in, speaking, posting the breaking news. So we have all the resources in the community to be on top of everything, so we could get out of the short and even scalp some long. So let's look at Qualcomm now, right? So Qualcomm was again on our watch list. Let's go back to our news play and see what Qualcomm was saying. So Qualcomm, bearish to neutral as long as under the clouds, only long if support pivots hold. So support pivots were 147, 148.50. And what happens? What happens to the Qualcomm? Right at open, I said looking to short the pops. Right at open, when I said that, Qualcomm fades right away. You know. So I told everybody watch the pops to short, and it popped up. That's fine. It popped up towards the resistance, and then I told everybody that this area is, as long as 512 EMA Clouds hold, we stay short, right? So look here, stops at 512. If short, short the pops, do not chase, right? You short the pops. You know, if I show you, so 143.60 to 140.62. Stay in the puts. I told everybody that stay in the put. If market fades, it will pay us good. And it popped, then it pulled back. I can show you probably in 3 minutes so you can see the move, right? So here it pops and then it fades back, right here. And that's when I say log sum, you know, log sum. Faded from 143 back to 140.51, you know, almost $3 fade there. And that's when I said log sum. And I told people to make sure you log you know, on the bounces. And my last stops were 143. I said if it curls over 143, I will cut it. And that's what I said around 10 a.m. that if it curls over 143, I will cut it. Basically this area, the one I was mentioning, but it did not. You see that 143 area it rejected. Finally the fades didn't break the 143, then it faded back to 140 again. So two times the fade happened on Qualcomm. You know, Kirk did well done. You know, he was short and he did good, and lot of people did good on Qualcomm. You can see Qualcomm short working. So that was really good, because if you had added chase, then you would have lost. It's very important to watch for the bounces. It was not a perfect bounce because I would have liked to see it break the opening candle and fade. Those are the best ones. This one bounces up and then it's going to stay in this morning range all day. So these are not that fun or that profitable, but it still works. The morning range was good enough, $3 range to make some profit. All right, folks, let's look at the next one. The next one we're going to look at is race. So race, I told everybody, this was my lotto pick today. I told everybody to get the race. Is a Ferrari, you know, is the Ferrari car. It's right here. Revenues and earnings would rise this year. Resistance pivot 373, support pivot 360. Resistance pivot, it breaks right out of the gate. I said long, can trade lottos. And then it was all about managing, right? My first target was 385. We hit 385 later in the day because there was a seller there. So it was pushing towards 385. I logged this here, 383. I logged it when this candle was breaking down. I logged some because if 512 breaks, I had to get out. But it held the 512s. Then it pushed higher. 391 held, and then it went to 391. 512 held, it went to 391. The 380 lottos went from 2 to 10 bucks. You know, they were illiquid, but all you need are 1 or 2. So, you know, so this idea completely worked from the pre-market plan, from 373s to 391s. A lot of traders did good on this, but these were very illiquid options though. You know, that is the problem. You know, I was scalping the shares. Even with 100 shares, you could easily risk $300-400 and you could make you know, $1,500 or some dollars. So let's look at next one, guys. Next one was RCL, Royal Caribbean Group, swings to Q4 adjusted earnings as revenue increases. So resistance pivot was 133, support pivot was 129.50. Bullish to neutral bias. I was looking too long on the cloud pullbacks, but as soon as the market opened and I saw it's showing very heavy candles, you know, you don't want to see this candle. When this candle happens, you see this on 10 minute, this is a clear short, guys. And that's why I said heavy. Will watch. If it holds the cloud, then I will long it. But it did not hold it, and then it was bearish under the pivots. Where were the pivots? The pivots were 129.50. The 129.50 gave up. After that, it was simply a gap fill short all day, and you can see it faded from that 129.50 to 122.50. It faded almost 7 points from the pivot, and I told everyone it's bearish in the gap, and good to log some, and it's still fading. So just a good one there. All right, I'm going to quickly talk about Tesla. So let's first go back and see what were the pivots for Tesla. The pivot for Tesla were 188, 188.50, resistance 190, 191, right? So those were our pivots. And what did Tesla do? And the whole credit goes to Vinay today. He was on top of it short. It could never get over the pivots. It could never get over the pivots. It kept failing those 188.50s and those 188s right here, right? So these support pivots, bearish, right? So Win came in. Win said if it stays heavy, he's going to risk this 190.50 and he's going to short it. And that's what happened, right? And it faded, and once it broke my pivots 188.50, 188, it was all about holding your short to the downside from 188, 186.50 to 184.28, right? So great call by, you can pause it and see the Vinay's guidance. He, as always, he just nailed it, and also all the pivots worked nicely. Now let's look at one of our losers. So HON, I was short in the morning, HON, and actually it was not a loser because I shorted it right away. And it hit 189 from that 195s. I covered some, but I was looking to short more. So when I added the second ads on the bounce, they did not work, and that I had to stop out and take a loss, but I gave the warnings. You see, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. When this is happening, you need to get out of your short. It's going to do something. Higher low close, higher low close, higher low close, higher high, higher high close, higher high close, higher low open, higher low open. So I said short the bounce, nice short. First target was 188.80, 188.80, and we hit 189.80, and I was still heavy, so I was adding more short. But when it was pushing up, I reduced my short. You see, 957, I said I reduced my short, and look what happened after that. So that's how you preserve your capital. That's why you see what is not working, what's not working. It did fade again, but again, this is not the setup. I wanted it to be fading here, like the real shorts should have been go down, go like this, and keep going down. That's what I wanted to see. So anyways, it was a loser today. I could have logged everything, moved on with nice profit, but my ads later didn't let me get out with the full profit. But understand this, how these shorts work. QRVO was another one which was a loser today. And I was looking for a push, but whenever I see this candle, this always tells you that it's not going to work out. And I already kind of knew when this candle was happening. It was bouncing over the cloud, so I held a little bit. But when I saw this candle again, this one right here, pulling down, then I was out of it. I was out, getting out. I will wait. And when we got out after that, it faded down a couple of points. So it's always good to get out. Anyways, so QRVO didn't work. That was the loser. All right, let's look at LI now. So LI, the news was that it was bullish to neutral if the pre-market breakout of 2864 happens. And that was kind of an amateur morning trade. Either you were in right away when that my pivot of breakout broke, or you waited for a pullback. So it worked nicely. If you added early, 2860 pivot broke, you used 40 cent risk, and from 2870 it went all the way to 2950. It pulled back. If you see on 10-minute, it pulled back, held the 512 EMA Clouds, and pushed again, pulled back, pushed again. So it was always profitable from the morning ads or the dip ads, but if you chased, you lost. You always wait for the dip. And 2090 was my target, which fell short of that target. It was not, didn't really make much here, and because I told everybody that if it breaks 512, it's going to pull back. So I gave the warning right here, and then it pulled. That's what it did, pulled back to 34.50, and we were out by then, you know. So I talk about it, 512 rule. We hold if 512 holds, we add on 512 bounces or 34.50 bounces. These are all the rules I discuss and teach you guys on YouTube recaps every day, and I go more in depth in all the webinars I do. Just quickly going to look at Boeing as well today. Boeing was nice short. So Boeing, my pivots today that I gave to everyone were 211.50 support pivot, broke the 211.50 and faded all the way to 206.81, right? And then it curled. When it was curling, I said no long now, right? It's curling. And when I said that, even after that, it bounced a couple of points to give some nice trade to the traders. So that was a ball. Let's look at Walmart. So you guys know we recapped Walmart was a loser yesterday on our yesterday's play because of the split. I was bullish bias, but it was a loser. But this morning, Walmart came back. Right? I told everybody to keep eyes on the Walmart day 2 setup. It's a day 2 setup. Again and again we play the day 2 setup. If the bullish buys didn't work that day, but the fundamental news is still there, the stock sometimes responds the next day. So today the buyers came in, or the institutions, whoever, they bought up the dip. I told everybody as it turned bullish at 950 that it's turned bullish over the EMA Clouds. And then it kept pushing. I told everybody to take some profits at 168. And then if you leave rest, swing rest, look at it now. It's trading at 169 now. Repeatable setup, guys. If you watched my yesterday's YouTube video, you would have also nailed it today. You know, so many ideas, so many opportunities, you know, and you know, that's just a beautiful move. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. All right, guys, let's look at analyze Meta, Apple. So let's look at Meta first, right? So today in the community, we were you know, trading Meta. I didn't fill initially, but I scalped it. I gave the target on Meta to everybody, 450. Let's see, I can show you guys that. Let's see. Okay. So I told everybody that Meta is going to rocket on the dividend news. It's a big news. So, of course, earnings were great. Look at these earnings. They made $1.76 last year, same quarter. They made $5 per share this quarter. Guys, that's 200% EPS growth. That is just a nuts, crazy. Revenue growth 24%, 25%. Look at the revenue growth. So as long as the company grows, the stock will grow. As long as revenues and the profit and earnings keep growing sequentially and with high percentage year over year, the stock will keep going. And that was not the only news. The big news was the dividend, right? So that's why I said it will go rocket, and I gave 450 target. I said Meta has room to 450 today. So Meta 450 target, and it hit my 450 target, right? So scalp some you know, small size in after hours on Meta. Earnings are crazy good. Tomorrow we have to just watch. It can fade and hold a level, and then it's gonna push again. But it's little extended, but doesn't mean that it can't go more, right? It's like 455. You know, if tomorrow if it pushes over pre-market highs, then it's gonna push more. But it's kind of extended, so I will be careful. I just have, because in the morning it can make a crazy move back to 3450 clouds. We'll follow our system, follow our rules. Good stock long term. If it ever pulls back to 400, you should buy it. Ever pulls back to this area before the earnings, you should buy it. Big gap, and we will see how we will play it in the community tomorrow. We will be all over it. Let's look at Apple earnings now, guys. So Apple earnings decent, 16% earning growth. You see from 188 to 218, nothing big, and revenue little move. So I was not impressed. You know, it was for a $3 trillion company, and for Apple being Apple, we have big expectations. We didn't get that. I tried to long Apple initially, but then I closed my longs. I got out of my longs, and then I shorted it, and I gave everybody 180 target. You can see here 180, Apple room to 180 after our trades. So because why? Because it broke the EMA Clouds. You know, it was, the system was bearish. It was breaking. I longed here. I stopped out right away. You can see here long sum got out, long sum got out right away, and then it was only short, and 180 target met. Tomorrow we might bounce, B minus bounce there. It won't be like a crazy setup, but we will watch. Eyes on Apple is still relatively lower compared to other stocks, right? Let's look at Amazon compared to other stocks like Meta and Amazon. So Amazon, guys, beautiful earnings. You know, I don't know if this EPS growth is correct, but revenue growth is really 14% there. So really good. You know, Meta was going because of that big dividend and the buybacks, just to reiterate that. Amazon is, we saw some lotto gamble calls come right in at close. Very strong chart. I like Amazon tomorrow on a pullback as well to the EMA Clouds. Let's discuss the market. All right, guys, time to discuss SPY QQQ. So we had a red day yesterday, and everybody thought we were going to pull down, but this market just knows to go up. You know, so market always moves in these trends, guys. When we have a trend down, then we have a trend up. The trend doesn't change overnight. It stays, right? You look at it when 3450 clouds changed on the daily chart. After that, it has been running, riding the 512 EMA Clouds, pulled back few times to 2021 EMA ribbons, but still riding up. So what's the plan? Where's the SPY trading right now? 491, 493 is the pivot for tomorrow. It's already at all-time high, guys. I think we touch 500. If it breaks 493 tomorrow, I think we touch 500 before we fall back or before we pull back. So let's see. So this is the plan. Keep eyes on VIX. VIX today, if it falls back to 13, SPY is going to push. QQQ, same thing. QQQ will move with semiconductors, right? But actually the Meta did good. So tomorrow the the advertisement stocks, the Snap, you know, stocks like Snap, Pins, expect them to do good tomorrow on the Meta earnings. You know, you always look at the peers, they always do good. So we'll focus on these, and then comes the cloud stocks. So Amazon cloud earnings were good. So all the cloud stocks were, you know, going crazy. Let's go quickly look at our SAS cloud stocks, see which one did really good. Let's look at Snow. If I can add extended hours, let's see. You can see in extended hours, DOCN, Okta is gap up. Snow is the real one with good volume, nice push up, and you can see MDB with nice push up, and you know, team had earnings we'll look at later. DDOG, nice push up. You know, PLNTR, nice push up. CRM, nice push up. So the cloud SaaS names you need to watch tomorrow. So guys, going with the neutral bias, leaning bullish, not really leaning really bearish for tomorrow. This is the plan. We'll watch these levels. Hopefully you had a good day and learned something today. Come join our community trade with me. Come for learning, do not come for alerts. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.